Thank you. So bright up here. So yeah, hello. I'm Eilís. I am a researcher who's fascinated by numbers, but not numbers as such, more how they're perceived and how that influences our ability to make decisions. So I want you to all look at this €100 note and try to put a price on this for what it's worth to you. And then think about what it might be worth to other people in the room and even those beyond the Sugar Club. And now I want you to imagine what this €100 was worth back in 2019 when we were facing a global pandemic, and if that value has shifted in that space between since. And so I think this, for me, is why numbers are so fascinating, because they are completely objective, or they're not objective, my bad. They are based on our environment, time and place, and many other factors that relate to cultural norms and so on. But today, numbers definitely talk. We know that AI and big data in general is a multi-billion-dollar business, and we're relying on numbers more and more to make these decisions that are both personal and professional in our lives. But the jury is still out. We are still trying to grapple with data, with how to use it effectively, how to manage and manipulate it to meet our goals, and to really generate ROI that's tangible. But as Columbus once taught us, just because you have data, it doesn't mean it's guiding you in the right direction. Drum roll. So I think as humans, we're obsessed with making informed decisions because it gives us comfort and confidence, but I guess what are we really missing here is these stories, because it's the stories that are providing us with this rich data, this additional context, and these small little nuances that really help our decisions. So let's pretend we're running a sandwich study and we want to survey thousands of people across Ireland to understand what the most popular flavour combinations are to come up with some new menu offerings. So the result might look like something like this: reams and reams of data that is very boring, it makes you cross-eyed, and really it's just, there's no sense of individuality here, it's all just bucketed into one. But what if we were to focus into one story here? We'll see that there's a 71-year-old male, he's a widow living in a rural area, and for the past 5 days, all he's really eaten is toast, cheese sandwiches, and milk. And what does this tell us? Who is this man? Is he okay? Is he financially unstable? Or could he just not make it to the shop this week? We don't know. But the point is, it's prompted us to ask other questions. And if we ask these kinds of questions and think about the stories, we can better design our research and the setup of our surveys so that those who are often excluded from our research do not feel othered. So we know that behind every number is a potential misrepresentation. So if you think about that sandwich survey and what came out of that, can you imagine the kinds of stories that we're missing from things like census data, health, finance, and so on? We also see misrepresentation turn up in self-reporting when people are talking about their financial goals, their drinking habits, their emotional state of mind. And so we have to be mindful that behind every number is a potential lie, whether it's intentional or not. So I think it's up to all of us to be quite skeptical about the data that we're reading and to try to connect that data with stories and additional context. I think Cassie puts it quite well when she says, garbage doesn't turn into gold, no matter how much math you throw at it. And so we really have to force ourselves to think about the quality of the data that we're working with and the accuracy. And so I urge us all to sort of design, collect, and frame this data as consciously as we can. It doesn't matter what your role is. It doesn't matter what your level is. What matters is you're asking questions. You're challenging some of the ways that this research is turning up. So there's ways you can do that. You can invite people into the design of your studies. You could be mindful that everyone is being involved in that collection process. And you can try to frame it with more mindfulness and don't always rush into things. Because I think, as we all know, Data is a new language for a lot of us. It's a new form of communication and expression, almost like learning an instrument. It takes patience. It takes skepticism. And yeah, really, I think we all just need to bring some humility into the work we're doing, because at the end of the day, that's what makes us human.